Okay, this is the homework, page 263. I think you guys were 2 through 28. I'm doing 1 through 27. Okay, so here we go. So you have 4 squared times 4 cubed. So remember, if you have like bases, which is your 4s, if you are multiplying like bases, you add the exponents. So my base is 4, so I'm going to do 2 plus 3. So you have 4 to the 5th. So 4 to the 5th. And 4 to the 5th power is 1,024. Okay? So next we have x to the 5th times x cubed. So again, if you have like bases and you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So it's x to the 5 plus 3, which is just x to the 8th. That's all you can do on that one. So here, if you have like bases, which we do, m, and m, you add the exponents. So first give yourself your first power there so you don't get confused. So your like base is m, and you've got 1 plus 7 plus 6, which is m to the 14th. All right, here, now multiply, do it in pieces. So we're going to do 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And then you're going to do x times x. So that's x to the 1st times x to the 1st. So your like base is x, and then you're going to do 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then you just have a y left over, so you're just going to put your y here. So it's negative 20x squared y. Okay? And then next we have, you're going to do negative 4 times 4, which is negative 16. And then you're going to do x cubed times x cubed, which your like base is x. And then 3 plus 3 is 6. If you're multiplying like bases, you add the exponents. And let's just cross off what we've done so we don't get confused. And then we have p squared and y cubed. So we've got y cubed and p squared. Really, I would have written the p first to put them in alphabetical order, but it doesn't really matter what order you put them in. Okay? All right. So we're talking about the negative x, or the 0 exponent rule. So the 0 exponent rule says that anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So you just need to ask yourself, what is being raised to the 0 power here? Just 8 is being raised to the 0 power. So this basically says negative 8 to the 0 power. So this is negative 1, because 8 to the 0 power is 1. This is not negative 8 to the 0 power. That would have to say negative 8 to the 0 power. That's not what this says. Okay? So be careful. Here your answer is negative 1, because 8 to the 0 power is 1. That's what's inside the parentheses. And then you have to deal with this negative outside. So the answer to number 11 is negative 1. So be really careful. All right, now here, number 13, it's 4x plus 5, all of this raised to the 0 power. So it's everything being raised to the 0 power, so your answer is just 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Negative x to the 0 power. Now what's being raised to the 0 power? Just x. This is basically saying negative x to the 0 power. Now x to the 0 power is 1, but you still have this negative outside. So your answer is negative 1. All right, so let's break this down into pieces. What's being raised to the 0 power? Just x. So we have 4 times x to the 0 power plus 5. Now what's x to the 0 power? It's 1. So you have 4 times 1 plus 5. What's 4 times 1? It's 4. So 4 plus 5 is 9. So your answer to number 17 is 9. So be careful. Don't just go, oh, 4x to the 0 power, that's 1. No. Only x is being raised to the 0 power. All right, now you're dividing. We're using the quotient rule. So now you're dividing like bases. So when you're dividing like bases, you subtract. So my like base is a. So you do 5 minus 2. So this is a cubed. A cubed. There you go. Because 5 minus 2 is 3. Now, do it in pieces. We know it's going to be negative because of this negative out front. 26 divided by 2 is 13. Z to the 11th divided by z to the 7th. Well, you know your like base is z. And then you're going to do 11 minus 7. Well, 11 minus 7 is 4. So it's negative 13 z to the 4th. Okay, now let's go in pieces. X to the 9th over x to the 8th. Well, your like base is x, and then 9 minus 8 is 1. You can put a 1, but you don't have to. And then here, those just cancel each other out, or you could say y, and then 6 minus 6 is 0, but anything to the 0 power is just 1, so you would have x, and we don't write x to the first power, times 1, right, which would just be x. So our answer for number 23 is just x. Now number 25, 12 over 9 does not divide evenly, but we can still reduce it. 3 goes into both of them. So we're going to reduce it to 4 over 3. Now let's look at x to the 4th over x. We know our base is going to be x, and there's more x's in the numerator, so it's going to go in the numerator. How many more x's in the numerator? 3. So you actually just did the quotient rule, because you subtracted 4 minus 1, because you should put a 1 right there. Now we also need to deal with our y's. So we know that there's going to be y's in the numerator, because there's more y's in the numerator than the denominator, and you do 7 minus 5 to figure out how many, and you get 2. So your answer is 4x cubed y squared over 3. Okay, and then the last one here, we have negative 36 over 6 we're going to deal with first, which gives us negative 6. Then we're going to deal with a to the 5th over a, which we're going to put a 1 with our a, which is going to give us a to the 4th, because 5 minus 1 is 4. And then we're going to deal with b, 7 minus 3 is 4. And then we're going to do c, 10 minus 4 is 6. And that's our answer there. And that is your homework for tonight. You guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.